Hey everybody, this is Dominique with Black Girl Reviews, and today I'm reviewing Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 15, Episode 4, The Buck Stops in Birmingham. All right, this episode was, I don't want to say it was jam-packed because it was jam-packed, but it was pretty much a get ready for a cash trip. And this year, Kenya is hosting the cash trip. And with Kenya, it could be very interesting. Like, I like Kenya, but her hosting abilities is very low. But I can understand how she has low hosting abilities when it comes to Marlo and some other people. So I'm gonna wait till that comes up. First, I want to get into their taglines. I forgot to do that in my last episode, and I want to kind of like rate the taglines before we get started. First, we have Candy. She said her roots are in Atlanta, but her branches are worldwide. I like that. That's real cute. Candy is playing off the worldwide thing, and that's cute for her. It is true. It's true. Her roots are in Atlanta, but her branches are worldwide. She's branching off to other things. Moving on, that was pretty much short and cute. I like that for Candy, and I'm glad she's the opening person because it's a Candy show. Next, we have Drew. She said, "Forget the gaslighting. I'm taking the spotlight." I hated Drew. You could have paid Candy a cute little $100 to write you something for your taglines because that's not cute. It reminds me of something. It's too negative because when the gaslighting thing has to do with Ralph, and why everything got to do with Ralph, girl? Say something else. Like, oh, y'all thought I was an actress, but wait till I sing. I don't know. But the gaslighting thing, no. Taking the spotlight, no. I don't like that. I don't like that. So the next is Marlo. She said, "My past may be checkered, but my what?" Marlo said, "My past may be checkered, but my future is solid gold." Okay, Marlo. Marlo, your past may be checkered, but your future is solid gold. Once again, you need to get back on Candy's good graces and pay her $100 or two to write you a cute little tagline because I hate it. Your past is checkered, but your future is solid gold. No, it's not hitting the way you think it's hitting. Next is Kenya. She said, "I don't just do it for the culture. I am the culture." And I can see that. She is the culture. I was just watching an old movie the other night, and Kenya was the leading lady, and that was I don't know when it was. I don't wanna lie to you and say when it was and what the name of it was low budget, but at the end of the day, Kenya was the leading lady, and she was gorgeous in that movie. So she don't just do it for the culture. She is a culture. I can see that. I can see that. Next is Sheree. She by Sheree, more like she broke the internet. It just doesn't have a ring to it, Sheree. It doesn't have an oomph. It doesn't have depth. It doesn't have like Candy. My roots may be in Atlanta, but my branches is worldwide. Like trees, roots, your branches, that makes sense. I can feel it. You know, I can feel that. But she by Sheree, more like she broke the internet. It just doesn't hit Sheree. I'm sorry. That's all I got to say about it. Next is Sanya. "If you can't keep the pace, get out my race." I don't like that either, Sonya. If you can't keep up with the pace, something like that. Hold on, let me see. No, I know I said it right the first time. If you can't keep the pace, get out my race. Stay out my race. It's so short. I shouldn't have to look down in my notes to verify what she said. That is so sad. Like, I don't like that either, Sonya. We don't have to think about something else. Like, I may be a gold Olympian, but I sure know how to run past that shade. Something. If you can't keep the pace, stay out my race. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. I really don't like that one. Well, that's the taglines, ladies and gentlemen, and we're gonna move on to the opening scene. Okay, so the opening scene is with Kenya and Monietta. Kenya is practicing for the Magic City Classic in Birmingham, and she has Monietta there to help her practice some of the moves. She wants to look fabulous, flawless, because she's remembering how she was at BravoCon, and she was not fabulous and flawless. She tried to do a death drop, I think that's what it's called, and she literally just dropped on the floor, just flopped on the floor, and just laid there for a minute. Kenya realizing that I am getting older. I can't be just doing what I thought I could do, and it didn't look the way that she thought it was gonna look. So this time she wants to have a professional like Monietta. Monietta talks about how she had a dance studio and she used to open up for Genuine and Prince, rest in peace. And she's a professional, so she's there to help Kenya dust off those moves for the Magic City Classic. While they take a break, Kenya's man calls and they just start discussing stuff. And Kenya was like, I've been separated from Mark from 2019, and he is still dragging his feet to sign those divorce papers. And she really don't have time anymore. Like, she doesn't want to waste any more time waiting on him to sign his paperwork. So now she is dating again, and I'm happy for her. Honestly, she looks happy. I'm not saying this is the man for her because I don't know him, but at least she's putting her big toe out there and dating. So I'm pretty sure, even though Mark is dragging his feet in New York, he's still probably dating. So good for you, Kenya. Do you, girl? The next scene is Sonia. She's having a meeting with her mom and her sister, and she has her brother-in-law on the phone, who is now her assistant, and they're going over her schedule, and she's just discussing different things that needs to be done, and he's agreeing on the phone, and then she finally hangs up with him, and then she lets her mom, her sister know that Ross would like for them to move out in maybe a year. He's ready to get his house back. He's ready to be living alone with his wife and his son, and they're attempting to have a baby. So he ready to have an empty home with him and his family. And her sister took it a little personal. She feels like, wow, like y'all really trying to kick me out. Wow. And in her confessional with her mom, her sister and her mom was in a confessional together, and she said that Sonia is not selfish, she's self-centered, and all she thinks about is herself. And the mom laughed and agreed. She said, we pretty much give Sonia and Ross the opportunity to move around the way that they move around, because they don't have to sit around and worry about who's going to be taking care of Deuce when Sonia and Ross are out working and doing other things, you know, filming with the cast. Like, Sonia's about to go to Birmingham. Who's watching Deuce? I'm pretty sure her sister and her mom and her dad. So I understand why she's a little upset, but at the same time, it shouldn't be that serious. Just get an apartment. Next, we have Marlo. She is doing a photo shoot for Halloween. The celebrities like to do these professional Halloween photos nowadays. I don't get it for Instagram. So they're paying all this money just for some Instagram photos, where getting professionally makeup done professional, hair done professionally, just to take photos, not even to do any trick or treating. This is just for photos, okay? And she discussed that, with her sister, that Courtney gave her this man's number that will help her get her charges expunged. And these are the old charges that she said it happened 20 years ago, where like, she might have stabbed, and the lady who she stabbed might have passed away. But that's the issue with Marlo. We don't know the story. I wish she would just tell us, and then the ladies won't have this over her head where they feel like she doesn't discuss this, and she doesn't. So she's saying that I've been with these ladies for all these years, and Candy's supposed to be worldwide, but she never ever helped me to get my charges expunged. First of all, you and Candy are not friends. Y'all never was friends. Well, y'all was friends probably like 20 years ago, 10 years ago. Y'all not friends now. You haven't been friends for at least 10 years now. Okay? You have always been on the other side of Candy. You always been the person to jab at Candy. So why would she go out her way to find somebody to get your charges expunged? You're a grown woman. I'm sorry. You're a grown woman. You can get that done yourself. So then it comes around where she talking to Courtney and saying, "Oh yeah, last night was crazy. You know, I was very triggered about the old lady gang shooting, even though it was Blaze. It was at Blaze, not old lady gang. But she needs to keep old lady gang in this to make it seem like it ties into what she's about to say next, which is, oh, and my nephew used to work at old lady gang, and he got shot by someone he met at old lady gang." And that was his roommate. Okay. And can you believe I reached out to Candy back in the day? Mind you, this happened in 2020. This happened in 2020. Why are we discussing how you felt about something back in 2020? What is happening now, Marlo? This is my issue with Marlo. What happened to that house you were building last at the end of the last season? Can we discuss that? Like, can we get an update on that? Can we get an update on La Archive? Can we get an update on that? Like, what are you doing right now? We understand you taking care of your nephews. That's a cute little storyline, but can we get something current? So Marlo is upset about how Candy reacted to her telling her that her nephew passed away. They used to work at Old Lady Gang in the text messages. This is how it went. I'm gonna read it off because I do not want to miss up anything, because the way that Marlo is portraying it is making it seem like she's like, "Hey," this is how she's saying it out loud. "Hey, Candy, you know a guy? I'm not gonna say his name because he passed away, and I want to give him respect, unlike Marlo. He passed away. He works at Old Lady Gang." And Candy said, "I'm not sure. Let me check." And then Kenny was like, "Oh, he doesn't work here anymore." But dang, that's so sad. That's how Marlo was trying to make it seem like. I paused the screen, and this is what I should have took a picture of the screen too, but I didn't. But I'm gonna read off exactly what Candy said to Marlo. Candy said, Marlo said, "Do you know a guy named blank? I'm gonna say my nephew working for you at Old Lady Gang." Candy said, "I can't remember. I will check." Marla said, "Please do." Candy came back and said, "Yes, but he doesn't work there anymore." Marla said, "Wow, that was my nephew. He got killed last night." Candy said, "Oh, really? What?" A lot of question marks. "How?" Marla said, "His mom just said he worked there. Roommate. Shot him twice." Candy said, "Damn, I'm sorry to hear that." That's exactly how it went. Okay. And then I can tell right after that when I saw it was another date. So that means it was time passed between Candy saying that and them texting again. Okay. Marlo feels upset that Candy never reached out and sent flowers to the funeral or sent a card to the funeral. And the way I feel about this is Candy and you weren't friends back in 2020. You wasn't friends. Okay, you wasn't friends with Candy. So yes, you can want someone to react and do something because that's what you expect them to do, but you can't get mad if they don't do it. You're only saying this because he used to work at Old Lady Gang. But you're trying to make it seem like he was working at Old Lady Gang at that time, and he was not. He wasn't a current employee. I remember Candy saying, I said this in my last video. I think he wasn't even working there like 4 months. He wasn't working there at least 4 months before he got shot. So I'm just saying allegedly. I'm gonna say allegedly because I think that's what I heard. But you can't get mad at Candy because she didn't send flowers. That's all I'm saying. And that's all I gotta say about that. Sheree goes to the doctor and she gets her fibroids checked on because they are bleeding and is messing up her sex life with Martell. And that's all I got to say about that scene. Sonya arrives to the photo shoot with her mom and dad, and she is discussing the fact that, after she told her sister about them moving out, she is feeling like, her sister is giving her the cold shoulder. Her brother-in-law quit on her. And Sonya feels upset that her sister didn't show up to the photo shoot to do her hair. She said she's sick, and Sonya says it's BS. She's just sick of her. And quite frankly, Sonya is getting sick of her too. So I can't wait to get to know more Sonya. I hope she's not going to try to pull back on what's going on with her personal life with her family because that is where the story is. But I can tell they're holding back on a lot of things. So let's move on. Kenya talks to her assistant really crazy and tells her, "Come on, hurry up. Let's get to this. Let me tell you what's going to happen. So you're going to come later with Brooklyn, and then you're going to always share your location at all times with me because I need to know where y'all at. And then she's going to do this at the parade, and then that's going to be the weekend." All right, that's pretty much it with that. Sheree has a short scene with Courtney. She's FaceTiming. Really, all the ladies are. This is a montage of all the ladies getting ready. All the ladies getting ready. Sheree has a little short scene with Courtney on FaceTime saying, "Oh, hey Courtney, what's up?" And she was like, "Oh, what are you wearing? I don't know, I don't know." And then Courtney says, "Oh, we're headed to Alabama. I can't wait to meet Martell." And Sheree says, "Oh, this is the week that Martell has his kids, so we won't be able to see him." And I was like, "Did you have that short scene just to make sure that you tell everybody Martell, even though we're going to Alabama, Martell won't be there?" Okay, girl. No one cares. Okay, maybe production does, but the fans don't. All right, so now we're getting ready for all the ladies to arrive to the Sprinter bus, and Kenya says she's gonna have everybody arrive at Sheree house because her Kenya's driveway is very steep. It goes down like this, and she prefers everybody just meet at Sheree. It's literally around the corner. So Kenya says when she arrives, Kenya's like, "Oh, Wills, we're headed out at 10:15. We headed out 10:15. Girl, you gonna head out when everybody arrives. You know production ain't about to let you leave nobody, even though that would been funny." So the times of everybody arriving is so Sheree arrives at 10:12. Courtney arrives at 10:23. Sonya arrives at 10:28. Monietta arrives at 10:30. And Marlo arrives at 10:37. Drew will not be there because she has the flu, and Candy is booked and busy with Ebony Fortune 500 or something like that. But she's booked and busy. She got things to do, not to just go to Alabama for a weekend for no reason. Okay. So they head out to Alabama, the wheels on the ground, and it's going round and round. And they are all discussing little stuff in the bus, and somehow they get on booty eating and have they ate booty. And everybody said no. Kenya said, "Yeah, back in my 20s, the guy didn't like the way I gave, fellatio, so I ate his booty." And everybody was like, "Ugh, what? Mm-mm. No, ma'am, Pam. I'm sorry, Kenya. You should have kept that to yourself, honey. You should have kept that to yourself. No one needed to know you ate booty at least once. No one cares because I feel like if you ate booty one time, you still doing it. You still doing it, Kenya. And I don't want to say ain't nothing wrong with it, but I'm not about to do that. I'm not about to do that. So we make it to Alabama and everybody gets out. They go to this dance studio because the check-in is at 3. And they left 10 o'clock in the morning. So they probably got there like at 12. And they do a buck off. All the ladies get into teams and they do the buck off, and Monietta and Kenya are the judge, just so Kenya can use that time with them practicing for the book off to practice for her halftime because she told Monietta that she's not telling the ladies. She wants this to be a surprise. She want to gag them like she did back when she went, "Kenya wore hair care, boop, 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 boop," when she did that at Marlo's event. What happened to Marlo's wig line? That's another thing, Marlo. What happened to that? I got so many things Marlo can discuss and on as a storyline other than the death of her nephews or her nephews that she's taking care of right now. We can talk about the failed businesses. We can talk about. I like the little storyline of your record getting expunged, but let's talk about the things that we talked about on the show already. Okay. So they do the judging of the buck off, and for some reason the challenge, the winner of the buck off would get a suite at the hotel. Keep this in mind. The winner gets a sweet. So they do the buck off, and for some reason, Kenya gives Sheree the sweet and says she won. And I don't know why she won because she was tripping over her feet. But I can't judge because I only went. I can't really dance like that. So I probably would have been tripping over my feet too. But I knew I probably wouldn't have won at that. So I don't. Well, whatever. Sheree won. They had to lunch, dinner. They had to. I guess that would be lunch, really. Lunch because Marlo was talking about she was hungry later. So lunch. They head to lunch and they sit down and everybody's talking. Well, everybody's eating, ordering their food and drinks. And then Kenya brings up the fact that Marlo and Drew got into it the other night. Marlo shut it down, was like, well, I don't even know why you're talking. Was you there? Was you there? Oh, okay, well, you need to be quiet because I. And Kenya was like, wait, well, why are you being so rude? Like, why are you being so rude? Like, King and Marlo's like, I know you ain't talking about being rude, and then they just going back and forth with petty little dags and digs at each other, like digs at each other. And I wrote it down like what they was talking about, but it was really pointless. Oh, and one more thing I forgot to bring up in the bus ride. Sonya was telling Kenya that, I'm riding down here with y'all, but I have to leave early in the morning to the next day to go back to Atlanta to film something for ESPN or something, and then come back for the halftime performance. And I'm like, sure. I mean, Sonya, you just really just wanted filming time, which I understand, girl. You got all the people to take care of. I really need to stop judging Sonya with her trying to take any opportunity to film because she has all those people relying on her and to make money. And even though her sister is giving her the cold shoulder and she's ungrateful, she's still taking care of her. She's still getting a paycheck. So Sonya, if that's what you want to do and do all that, even though you could have just showed up the next day. But Sonya, like, I'm not missing no filming time because look at Candy. Candy's barely. She wasn't even on this episode. Drew at least did a little appearance and said, oh, "I'm sick. I can't make it. I got the flu," which that's cute. But Candy wasn't even on this episode at all. They didn't show her now one time. I didn't like that. This is Candy show. She needs to be on every episode. Y'all need to bring a camera crew and follow her all the way to the Ebony event or whatever. All right, so back to dinner. So yeah, going back to Kenya and Marlo going back and forth, it was like the one thing about Marlo when she goes back and forth with Kenya, Marlo always sounds stupid. Like she was talking about Kenya, well, tell me the truth then. If you wasn't there, you can't talk about it then. Talk about you and Drew, and she was like, I can talk about it. Drew said I had a conversation with Drew, and Drew said that you were standing over her and you was being very aggressive and Marlo in her confession was like, I was not standing over her. And then production with the petty stuff, she was sitting down, showing that Marlo was sitting down and pointing at her seat. But production, you know darn well that once she got up, Marlo is like 6 feet tall. And Drew is probably like 5'6". When Marlo got up, that was standing literally over her and screaming in her face like, "My nephew just died! My nephew just died!" That's standing over her and that's being aggressive. Y'all over here, I see. Kenya did say that production is protecting Marlo and they don't want Marlo to come off in a certain light. And I'm like, I can see that. I can see that. So really, it was a lot of back and forth, and it really was pointless because it got nowhere. Marlo didn't even try to discuss it. She walked around it. Even Sanya was like, "Oh, was you just triggered about something that night? Like trying to get Marlo to like discuss more and express her feelings more." And Marlo was like, "Oh well, you seem talking to Sonya. You seem like you know more about the situation. How about I just be quiet and let you be my spokesperson for the night, and I won't talk at all tonight." And Kenny was like, "Good, and you can leave too. We really don't need you here." And all the lady was like, whoa. And then Sonya was like, okay, can we slow down? Because they was just literally going back and forth. It was just, and Sonya was like, can you please slow down? I'm drunk. And then they was making a funny joke about through and how to spell through. Because, Sheree can't spell through. She spelled it like I got through something, not through something. But what do you expect from Sheree, honestly? All right, so they are done eating, and Kenya said, "All right, y'all, um the charity event that she just told them about in the car. I'm sorry, there we go. Finally got that hair. That charity event that Kenya just told them about in the car. She said we have to be ready for 7 o'clock to be there. All right, and everybody's like, oh, okay, well, let's hurry up and get to our rooms so we can get ready. They get to the rooms, everybody check in. Everybody seems okay with their rooms except Marlo and Sheree. Sheree has a right to kind of feel like, what's going on here? Because Kenya made it seem like she was going to win a suite. And when she walked in, it was real small. But the thing is, in those small towns, what Sheree is in is a suite. It's not a presidential suite, but it's probably like a king suite. Those rooms like king suite, and it just be a bed, maybe somewhere to sit, a desk, and that's it. But Sheree was looking for like a suite, like a regular suite. And then Marlo feeling like, oh, this is it. Like you gave me this no name, small, little, tiny, traveler size champagne bottle. She was like, when I had my trip from hell last year, we had 24-hour concierge service. We had a staff. We had a 24-hour chef. We had cheese boards. We had cocktails. We had everything. And this is all you got, Kenya? You didn't even give us no gift or nothing. I mean, technically she is right, but it's a hotel. Like, you can call up for room service anytime. You're gonna have staff come in and clean your room when you leave out the room. And why did Marlo have like 10 people in her room? Why did she have so many people? I know they ain't all about to sleep in that room, Marlo. So that means you had to get accommodation for all your people and you didn't look up how the rooms look beforehand. Like, I just don't understand why these women don't just go once they see their room. I know Bravo's paying for the accommodations, but with that, they can just say, "Hey, can I pay the extra $100 or $200 to upgrade my room?" If y'all got it, what's the issue? Me, I would have been perfectly fine with the room. Honestly, I ain't seen nothing wrong with it. So everybody get ready. Kenya heads down to the lobby to meet up with Brooklyn. Brooklyn is so cute, and she's just like, "Come on, Brooklyn, I'm working. Oh my god, they really giving Kenya a bad edit this year. I don't know what's going on, but well, they always give Kenya the bad edit. They always try to make her seem like the villain, but Marlo seems like she doesn't need a bad edit to always look like the villain anyway. The first lady that comes down is Monietta, and she's in a space woman silver jumpsuit. And Kenya told Monietta, like, girl, no, that is so inappropriate for this charity event. You're gonna have to go back upstairs and change. Like, that's not gonna fly. Like, do you have anything like more simple? And she was like, I didn't pack for a charity event. I mean, she didn't. She packed for like a night out in Birmingham, Alabama. So she goes back upstairs to change, and then Courtney and Sheree comes down, and they both get in. All three of them get in the car, and they leave. They leave Marlo, Sonia, and Monietta. So they leave them. They arrive to the event, and Monietta arrives right behind them. And Monietta, in her confession, was like, "Girl, you could have waited for me. Like I literally arrived the same exact time as y'all. Like I means I got downstairs, got in my car, and it was like 2 seconds behind y'all. You could have waited. That was petty." Which it was. She could have waited. It wasn't really that serious, honestly. Once they arrived, you can tell the vibes wasn't really that serious. Like she shouldn't have invited all of them. I'm pretty sure they only invited Kenya because she was, coming. But it makes sense to invite the whole cast to a cast event, like a cast, charity event. But what Kenya should have did was she should have went to the charity event, showed her face for like 30 minutes to 40 minutes, and then had all the ladies go out to dinner and meet up with the ladies at dinner or something like that. She should never brought all those ladies and the camera crew to this charity event, and you'll see why later. So they all walk in, and well, the ladies that arrive with Kenya and then Monietta, they all walk in and they looking around, and it's like real casual, real laid back, real chill vibes. It really wasn't much going on. They didn't have no extra decorations. It just looked like they rented out the bar for that night and told people to show up. So everybody was just like, "Girl, this is what you had me rushing out the house, out the room for." Marlo and Sanya arrives, and Marlo decides she wants to go to the bar and order a bucket of champagne with sparklers to show that this is what happens when you leave me, just to make a scene. So the sparklers and champagne arrives, and everybody's talking. And Sonia was like, "You really left me. Like you really left me. I wouldn't have never did that to you, even though Sonia did that in her last trip. Girl, you left because you had to be somewhere at a certain time. Sonia, come on now." And then Kenya was like, "What? I gave y'all extra 40 minutes to get ready, and y'all still wasn't ready." And Marlo comes up, "Oh, what did you text me?" Talking to Kenya. "Did you text me? Did you text me?" And Kenya was like, "Girl, no, I don't even have your number." That was funny. Marlo be making herself look stupid, honestly. Like, why you gonna ask Kenya, "Did you text me?" when you know you and Kenya don't even talk. So they decided to go upstairs to a table upstairs, and like for like 2 seconds they was upstairs. Production pulls Kenya to the side and said, "Hey, y'all gonna have to leave. Blank said that y'all are distracting from the event with the sparklers and the camera crew and the lights and all this. Y'all are doing too much." And she was like, "Oh, really? Okay." She was like, "Yeah, y'all gonna have to leave." So Kenya goes back to the table, and Monietta got everybody dancing, everybody hitting the buck, and everybody, and then Monietta stands up a little bit. And Kenya was like, "Girl, that's cute and all, but how about we do this at the hotel?" Everybody was like, "Girl, we just got here. Like, we literally just got here." Especially Sonia and Marlo. They like, "We just got here." They was like, "Yeah, but they want us to leave." Kenya said they want us to leave, and they was like, "Really? They want us to leave?" They was like, "Yeah, they want us to leave." So all the ladies get up, embarrassed, and they head out of the place. And Marlo was like, "Well, I'm staying a little bit so I can finish my champagne. Y'all ain't gonna kick me out." And I just ordered champagne. And Marlo's probably the main reason why they got kicked out with all that the glitz and the glamour. But really, the person who had the event should be happy that they had damn near the whole crew of Real Housewives of Atlanta at the event. Like that means next year if they did the same event, they could be like, "Oh, guess who's gonna be here next?" Like this is publicity for your event, but since it was not well planned out, I can see how you wanted the cameras to leave because really this looked bad on your behalf because you know they was gonna talk crap about your event. So they all make it to the hotel room in the lobby, and Kenya was just like, "It is what it is. I'm about to head back up to my room. Y'all have a good night." And Marlo feels like, damn, this is what Kenya do all the time. She always want to get up and leave. Like she always leave us. She always want to leave. And they show all the little different scenes of the different trips where Kenya was just like, "All right, I'm leaving. I'm headed up with my daughter. I'm about to leave. I'm about to have another house with my daughter." And Marlo feeling some type of way, but I don't understand why Marlo feels the type of way when she don't even like Kenya. You don't even want to spend time with Kenya. You don't even talk to Kenya. So why do you even care that she leaves? So then Marlo's big plan idea was like, "Oh, let's go upstairs and let's bother Kenya." And all the ladies were like, "Yeah, let's do it." Even Monietta should have said, "Nah, let's not." Monietta knew her daughter was there. She saw her down there in the lobby. She could have been like, "Nah, let's not. Her daughter's in the room. Let's just go to the bar." I wouldn't have followed them. I'm not no follower. "Oh yeah, let's go bang on Kenya's door." So they all go to Kenya's room to bang on her door, and they knock gently and like Kenya, Kenya, and then here comes Marla, Kenya, Kenya, and putting her big old feet. Just imagine this is not Marla's big old feet, just kicking the door down, banging on the door. And of course, Kenya's gonna get upset. She's like, "Why are y'all banging on my door? What is happening? My daughter's here." And then Marlo tried to act like, "Oh, I don't care, I don't care," because Marlo knew her daughter was there. So Marlo acts like nothing is, it doesn't bother her. I don't care, she should have, she always want to go to her room, so oh well. And then that's pretty much where it ends. And then they show for the next season, the next episode. I'm sorry, and it's gonna be crazy. Manietta's gonna get into it with Marlo. Kenya's gonna get sick and get wheeled off in an ambulance, and then Marlo's gonna do this fake prayer to hope that Kenya gets better. That's gonna be a mess. But let me verify that I said everything. Let me look and check my notes. Yeah, so that's it. That's all I have on my notes. I will rate this episode. I'm doing an A B C D E F, E F, not E, but A B C D and then the F rating. I said A B C D E F. Um, I would rate this episode I would say mm, I'm gonna say a B plus. I'm gonna say B plus because we did get more of Sonya's backstory with her family, and I liked the little confessional where her mom and her sister was throwing shade. We did get to know that Kenya likes to eat booty. We did get to see Kenya and Marlo go back and forth or whatever. We did get to see them get kicked out of this party, even though Kenya says, "Oh, it wasn't me that got kicked out. It was production that got kicked out." But all in all, we still had to leave. Girl, you got kicked out, honey. You got kicked out. They pulled you to the side and told you y'all had to leave. Production told you you had to leave, girl, and you left. So technically, you did get kicked out. If you didn't get kicked out, I would have just said, "All right, let's just stop filming. Let's put all the cameras away. Y'all can leave production. Some of the ladies, if y'all want to leave, y'all can leave. But I'm gonna have to stay to, work my rounds of the party." But you left too, girl. I didn't like the whole Marlo kicking Kenya's door down. She always got to take stuff to 100, and it's just ridiculous. I don't like the storyline about her nephew passing away and back in 2020, and we're in 2023, almost in 2024. Girl, like, rest in peace to your nephew, and I'm so sorry that that happened to you, but that has nothing to do with Candy, okay? Nothing. All right, everybody. I want to say thank you guys for watching and subscribing and sharing my videos. And thank y'all once again for watching my videos, my short videos. I've had multiple videos now that hit 1K views, and I'm so excited. I just want my channel to grow naturally and organically, and that's what it's doing. I just got to push out these content for you guys, and I hope you enjoy my review, and I see y'all next week for the next episode. Bye.